Now, all of the stories that I'm going to share with you over the next few weeks, and this story in particular, are about people who are just like you and me. Just like you and me. Now, how is that? Well, it's because we all care about people. We care about ourselves. We care about one another. And we all want to leave the world a little bit better off than the way we found it. As stewards of the future, we dare to wear our souls on the outside so that we can be in right relationship with ourselves and we can be in right relationship with others. As instruments of soul, we sound the way for others. We sound the way for folks in our immediate circles and beyond. Hey, did you know that you are a magnificent story? And as you live your life, you're actually painting on the canvas of your soul. Now, at the end of my sharing these inspiring stories, over the next few weeks, I'm going to invite you to give voice to your own story, so you too can respond to that important question, Habari Gani? What's happening now? You too can draw from the deep wellspring and transformative power of your own true voice. Until then, I trust that you will be moved by these stories of hope, radiance, and celebration. And as you encounter each individual soul, like the person you will meet today, I trust that you will feel the sweet shimmer of your own story and hear the rich resonance and powerful medicine of your own true voice. I trust that you will bask in the joy and inspiration of the stories, allowing them to illuminate your life. I also trust that you will accept the gifts they offer so you can pass these stories on and faithfully serve others by lighting the path for somebody else, by making a difference for someone else. So again, I invite you to cozy up, sip your cup of tea, your favorite coffee, and join me by the hearth. Join me at the fire to hear the good news. I'll begin this story, as I will others, with a brief excerpt from my poem, Song to Myself. I want to know if you've scarred your knees on the stones of self-abandonment. I want to know how long you've been hidden in the shadows of hypocrisy, prejudice, addiction, abuse. I want to know if you will stop to light a candle and pray with others who will surely wander there. Now, I want you to meet a very special person. Her name is Tamra. Her story offers lessons for all of us. Unfortunately, the word addict conjures up negative images in most people's minds. When you hear that word, what do you think of? Addict. What images flow into your mind? Now, most of us imagine that an addict is a person of immoral character, or a person without value to society, or a person who deliberately chooses to engage in destructive behavior. However, in reality, individuals who are considered addicts are actually just like you and me. That's right. They're just like you and me, just like Tamra. Now, When I spoke with Tamra to learn about what's happening on her journey, I greeted her with, "Habari Gani, hey, what's the news?" Here is Tamra's inspiring story, a story I call a second chance. 5 years ago, Tamra was arrested for disturbing the peace. Now, she's grateful to the prosecutors who offered her a deferred sentence on the condition that she obtain treatment for her addiction, on the condition that she get substance abuse and behavioral counseling, on the condition that she stay out of trouble with the law. Tamra knows she was one of the lucky ones, but she also says that what her prosecutors did for her should be the norm, not the exception. In her own words, Tamra says, "I used to call myself an addict, but not anymore. I now realize that I'm a human being with an illness called addiction." Now, that's a lot different than saying I'm an addict, which sounds like I'm a bad person, or I have a character defect, or something worse. She goes on to say, "I'm a good person. I just got mixed up with the wrong crowd and the wrong pills." As Tamra's prosecutors and judge realized, individuals with addictions cannot be cured through incarceration. However, their addictions can be treated with counseling, mentoring, and in some cases, medication. Through education and mentoring, these folks can change their behaviors as well, which will contribute to significant changes in their lifestyle. Now, when we hear stories about individuals like Tamra, we usually just hear about their addictions, which means that we're actually just hearing about one aspect of their stories. But often, there is more, so much more. We don't often hear stories about people like Tamra who have changed their values and changed their behaviors, who live productive, meaningful lives, and who are making a better life for themselves and their community. But you know what? For every story like Tamra's, there are thousands more. Today, if you were to meet Tamra and ask her the question, "Habari Gani?" she would tell you, "Mercy, I am so glad I got a second chance. Not everybody does. So I'm doing this for my son, Tyler, and for all the other people who are just like me, but maybe weren't so lucky." Driven to help others, as she was helped, Tamra is determined to change her story, which will in turn change her family's story, and it will in turn change the legacy she's creating for her son. Now, it took some time for Tamra to obtain joint custody of her son, but she now has it, and she's established a stable, loving home for Tyler. She works part-time for her county's juvenile court's positive parenting program, and through this program, parents like Tamra can help other parents overcome the hurdles that can lead to their sons and daughters becoming wards of the state. During the past several years, Tamra attended Mesa Community College and earned her associate's degree. Then she attended Arizona State University to obtain her degree in social work. And after that, she planned to go to law school because she knows what kind of an impact a prosecutor or judge can have over a person's life. Tamra also volunteers with the city, helping people who are former substance abusers connect with the many services designed to help create stable families and safer communities, such as substance abuse counseling, GED testing, job skills training, and higher education. Tamra also helps these individuals learn positive life skills. She explains, we use a curriculum that focuses on strengths, that promotes positive, uplifting values and new ways of thinking and acting. Each day, Tamra thanks her lucky stars that she's able to give back something to individuals who are pretty much like her, doing the best they can with what they have to give their kids a better life. Why? Because Tamra knows that even though they may not get a lucky break like she did, they still deserve a second chance. She says, I'm so thankful to be raising Tyler in a loving, caring home, something I never knew when I was growing up. I also want to help and inspire others who've fallen through the cracks to find stability, peace of mind, and hope, the hope that I have found. I want them to know that they too can change. They can change and lead a productive life, a life filled with purpose and promise. Wow. You know what? That's what we all want, isn't it? To lead a life of purpose and promise. Tamra's blessing of getting a second chance has made a positive difference in her own life, in her son's life, and in the lives of countless others whose lives she has poured into. Tamra is creating a ripple effect in her family, community, and beyond, simply by saying yes to God's legacy for her, for saying yes to daring to wear her soul on the outside. Now, for Tamra, wearing her soul on the outside is something she gets to do every day, no matter where she is or who she's with. Now, I began Tamra's story with a few lines from my poem, Song to Myself. Here they are again. I want to know if you've scarred your knees on the stones of self-abandonment. I want to know how long you've been hidden in the shadows of hypocrisy, prejudice, addiction, abuse. I want to know if you will stop to light a candle and pray with others who will surely wander there. When we live out loud, when we wear our soul on the outside, it makes all the difference, doesn't it? Now, sometimes people ask me, well, Dr. Gloria, doesn't it hurt? Doesn't it hurt to live out loud? Doesn't it hurt to wear your soul on the outside? Well, let me tell you something. The alternative hurts a whole lot more. The alternative is not living out loud. And not living out loud is what keeps you stuck. That's what keeps you living in fear. That's what keeps you from stepping into the life that God has planned just for you. Now, you've heard me say this before. Don't let fear steal your joy. Don't let fear suck the life right out of you. You were made for joy. You were made for service. You were made to stand in the amazing power of your own true voice. That's what daring to live out loud, daring to wear your soul on the outside is all about. Well, I certainly hope that this story I shared about Tamra being given a second chance and how she's taken that second chance and is now giving it back to